Now you're in the future, right?
Hey, thanks
the
a lot,
future
Brent.
of work?
I am in the future of work. It's Friday morning in the Southern Hemisphere, one day ahead, 7 o'clock. It's cold in the global headquarters, but the day is bright, so you know you have a good tomorrow coming.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome, everyone, to the Small Talk Window podcast, where we have 10-ish minutes to dispense with the small talk as quickly as possible and settle into a meaningful conversation related to the world of work. Most of us are familiar with the concept of original sin in Western theology. Well, did you know there is an original sin in skills ontology too? And as usual, we can blame America. It was the early 1950s, and the United States Army had established a Behavioral Science Research and Development Institute. The objective? Introduce efficiency and standardization to the training process. Figure out who was best at what, this sort of thing. A psychologist by the name of Paul G. Whitmer, founder of the initiative, made an executive decision that has haunted our discussion of people skills ever since, however. He classified them into two types: hard skills, which are easy to measure, and soft skills, which are not. This is the original sin of modern skills ontologies, says Mike Erlin, founder and CEO of AbilityMap, and my guest for this episode of the podcast. We should lose the bifurcation, look at skills holistically. They're all human skills, he says, and I happen to agree. Welcome, Mike. Now you're in the future, right?
Hey, thanks
the
a lot,
future
Brent.
of work?
I am in the future of work. It's Friday morning in the Southern Hemisphere, one day ahead, 7 o'clock. It's cold in the global headquarters, but the day is bright, so you know you have a good tomorrow coming.
Thank you very much. I hope it's warmer out here, though. We're in the summer, just so you know.
I guarantee it's got to be warmer than it is here.
I guarantee you it's got to be hotter over here, too, let me tell you. Anyway, so you know what? You and I both were at Cornerstone, but not at the same time.
Ships passing in the night, my friend, but we both worked with an amazing company with some amazing people that were our tribe.
And you went on to found AbilityMap.
Yeah, when I interviewed with Adam Miller, he asked me what this little thing called AbilityMap was, and I looked at him in the interview and I go, Adam, it's the blood in Cornerstone's veins, and it put him back on his heels. AbilityMap is a skills and capability alignment platform that enables companies to define the human skills that they require in different jobs and environments within their business, and then evaluate, predict how their workforce or candidates set against it, so that different activities can be prescribed to basically get outcome, improve productivity, retention, and things like that.
Interesting. Yeah. And we've had a lot of conversations about AbilityMap over the years. We've done podcast episodes in the past together under other pseudonyms and whatnot. And we just have these really far-ranging, wide-ranging, very interesting conversations. And I wanted to get another one of them down on vinyl, so to speak. How do we get to this misguided place with the original sin of skills ontologies? How exactly has a lexicon of soft versus hard skills impeded innovation, Mike, and progress in psychometrics?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I loved your intro about the history. I think I could add one aspect to it. Okay. And I don't know, when I looked at where did the hard versus soft lexicon come from, what I understood it to be was that hard was for working with metal, guns, mortar, bazookas, and driving trucks and ships. They were hard skills. And soft skills was everything else. And I think it was fascinating in that they chose those things. And as we know, people look back, lifetimes, generations about leadership, soft skills, leadership strategy, and business leaders today go back all the way to Cleopatra to find out how she navigated through Roman times, right?
Yeah.
And what we're studying is her human skills, her soft skills. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I think that just that concept of soft, combined with the fact that humans like things that are easy to measure, and guess what? Technical skills, hard skills are easy to measure.
Yeah.
We've fallen into focusing on that for the last few generations until, quite frankly, COVID came around and everyone went home and we're like, holy Toledo, how do we know they're working? Soft skills. And that sort of was the restart of people going, man, these things really matter, like in a big way.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you make a really good point. I mean, COVID, there's, just like there's BC and AD, I think there's before COVID and after COVID, really, when it comes to the world of work. We've been sort of in a perpetual state of future of work limbo, I think, since COVID. And it feels good to be kind of, I mean, some of it, we're kind of slipping into the past of work a little bit, in some areas, but it feels good to be kind of, marching onward in other ways into the future of work. In terms of soft skills and hard skills, yes, the ones that are easier to measure and the ones that are not so easy to measure, right? But they're all skills, and it's kind of arbitrary, right?
Yeah. And the interesting thing I'm finding, Brett, is, so let's just say that COVID was a reawakening of these human soft skills matter, right? What I find fascinating is that was like the awakening, if you will. And there's an acceleration that's happening with our clients and the communities that we operate in because of AI. And what AI is now people are doing is they're deconstructing work. They're deconstructing how it's done, thinking not about jobs, often about projects and situations. And what's happening is AI and technology is taking on more of certainly the administrative, but also the analytical aspects. And when you start taking that away from humans, what ends up coming out is you start to see that actually what we do in work and the value that we bring is largely human aspects. And they are the durable ones, that the same skills that we're talking about today applied to Cleopatra and Rome and way back when.
Yeah. And what's also interesting is that back when we first saw this reference to hard skills and soft skills, those soft skills were a lot more difficult to measure, but they are more difficult to measure, but we're much more able to measure them now than we were with those old sort of first blunt instruments that we had, like the Myers-Briggs and these sorts of things, right?
Starting in the kitchen, the Myers-Briggs. Actually, but it's a really interesting thing. So you and me, man, we go here. Okay, so one of the things that's coming clear to me is now that we have an awareness about the durability and importance of these skills.
Tonight on NBC, Jimmy Fallon and Bozoma St. John host the highly anticipated new competition show.
I hired 10 creatives from all walks of life. They will be battling it out to see who can impress the world's biggest brands.
This is a huge opportunity.
This is the battle for the next big idea.
This is not play. We're spending millions of dollars.
I'm so excited to embark on this adventure with all of you.
May the best idea win!
On Brand with Jimmy Fallon, series premiere tonight on NBC.
Hey, business owners, we know you know the importance of maximizing every dollar. With the Delta SkyMiles Reserve Business American Express card, you can make your expenses work just as hard as you. From afternoon coffee runs to stocking office supplies and even team dinners, you can earn miles on all your business expenses. Plus, you can earn 125,000 bonus miles for a limited time through October 29th. The Delta SkyMiles Reserve Business Card. If you travel, you know. Minimum spending requirements and terms apply. Offer ends October 29th, 2025.
The next component is, all right, well, what we're talking about is measuring them, right?
Yeah.
And the purpose of measurement is, if you just look at the 4 levels of analytics, right? One is descriptive, the second layer is diagnosis, the third layer is prediction, and the fourth layer is prescription. And having that fourth layer, prescription, is not where most organizations don't get there. But what I've been looking at, Brett, is that foundation of the description. And you know this about me. Everybody that worked with me at Cornerstone, all the way back to Digital Think, I'm a capability geek. I've been a capability competency framework geek the whole time. If that foundation of description, if you don't have a framework that broadly describes what people do in work on the human side, and it's very discrete in measurement, then all future diagnosis, prediction, and prescription falls mute. And so that framework, and so this is where we've seen frameworks out there for a long time. People sit around in rooms and we've done our best effort to say, oh, what are the leadership skills when we get these? But you find that when you have tools like psychometric assessment to begin starting to try to measure those, that's a whole different subject. If those measurements aren't discrete, you get milk toast. You get this milky thing, as opposed to this very clear, hey, Brett's strong in this and low in this. So this foundation of description of capability frameworks, I'm extremely excited because that's my jam, and it is the foundation of effective analytics.
Yeah, absolutely. You bring up a good point. It's like a graphic equalizer on one of those old stereos, right? Yeah.
I thought you were going to bring in Maslow's theory of something this time or something.
I promised myself I wouldn't. And we're actually coming up on the unofficial sort of soft 2-minute warning here, if you will, okay. No pun intended. And that was the one thing I was worried about with this episode, is whether Mike and I could actually keep this to 10 minutes, because we had some epic podcast episodes in the past. But this is actually coming together really nicely, and I've enjoyed the conversation we've had. And there's so many things I could say right now, and we probably should have you on for another episode, Mike, in the future. But in the meantime, how does a manner in which, and I think you may have started to answer this, but how does a manner in which we talk about skills in the workplace help us get to the future of work faster?
It's funny, we do this a lot with our clients. You have to engage and get people to participate as a collective to realizing how human skills apply to what we do. And in the old days, we used to fly around to all the different offices, sit around our rooms, shoot cards around, blah, 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 blah. You can't do that. You have to do it real fast and get to the nub. But what's really interesting is when you start to easily and efficiently engage people in sharing their views about what they each think is needed for different roles or environments in terms of what human skills people need to apply, what you quickly find out is they all think different things. Okay. And they can't all be correct.
Right.
So I think how you go about it is, and this is what we do with our clients, and you can do it a few different ways, but one of the more standard ways is to start at leadership and start helping the leaders debate in a very efficient, short period of time what they think is needed for leadership or for culture. In other words, what are the human skills that you want in your organization that underpin your achieving your vision, mission, and purpose? And you'll find that if you got 30 leaders, you got 30 different views. They cannot all be correct. So coming together is the first part. We call it coming to one mind.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. And maybe this will be our next episode, because there's a little bit of analogy there in terms of informing artificial intelligence, which has become a bit of an issue as of late, right? And getting as much of the opinion out there from the human sentiment in there, so you can come to one mind, because the AI is actually going to become that one mind eventually.
It will, Brett. I guess the only comment I would make is that AI is phenomenal in terms of what it is consumed in terms of human knowledge. What it does not address and is the unique culture in which people are operating, which dictates the unique human skills that are needed, even for the same role between three companies. Okay.
Yeah.
So the reference to AI is phenomenal, because it's going to say people in project management need to do these skills. But what's critical is that you're able to efficiently find out, well, which of those skills are really important in our business, and are there any other ones that need to come in? So it's the future of work. We've always said that the future of work is about feeding us data and analysis, and humans having to go up to a higher level. That's what this is about. And it's finally here, and it's bloody beautiful for those of us who are embracing it.
Yeah, sort of an elevation of the status of humankind in the world of work. Yeah, absolutely. Mike, it's been an absolute pleasure, and we will have you on for another episode of this in the very near future. Thank you so much. and you enjoy the rest of tomorrow today.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I can just say, go Ducks. We've joined the Big Ten now, so Oregon Ducks, everybody duck.